Good morning. Man, what a beautiful morning it is out here. It's in the 70s, little gentle breeze, just a beautiful day to be outside. I've got the hammock hung up, gonna lounge around a little bit, but I wanted to talk with you guys about something that I'm kind of excited about. So I got a new product in the mail, and it's one that the general product itself isn't new. It's been out, but it's another product from Superior Hammock. And Danny and I have actually been working on this one together, kind of coming up with a new design for something that he's had for a while, but to make it a little bit more universal and to give a little bit more protection, provide a little bit different coverage than what he had before. So why don't we go ahead and get it set up, and we can talk about what it is I'm talking about. So let's go. Okay, so what we've got right here is a Superior Gear tarp. What is different about this tarp are the doors on either end. So there's a half door on one end and a full door on the other end. And what's cool about these doors is that we designed them with enough of an overlap that it seals up the sides, and they're interchangeable. So you could use one if you want, you could take it off. So if you've got a tarp with no doors right now, but you really wanted a tarp with doors, you can get these separately, add them onto your tarp. Doesn't have to be a Superior Gear tarp, but you can add these on, and that's something that's really cool. Different ways you could do it. You know, these are strung on here right now with some shock cord and a clip system on one side, carabiners on the other, and you can really mix it up to make it work for however you want it. There's an additional set of loops on these full doors that you could run to a center pullout if you've got that. Just lots of different options that you can go with there to make this work. So let's take a look at the doors themselves. All right, as you can see, this is a full coverage door. It goes all the way down to the bottom. I've got this tarp spread pretty wide right now, and that's the other cool piece about this, is that this is about the full width of this tarp. If you were to go a little bit more narrow, you can just cinch these up, and it provides even more coverage because the overlap gets bigger on the sides and keeps any wind from getting in. Now, if you are careful about where you set up, and you set up either so that the wind's sitting the sides, or if you want a door, you can put this on the wind side. So if the wind is coming from this way, you don't need a door on the other end. Gives you a little bit more air circulation in there, but it keeps the wind from coming in and robbing you of any heat that's there. So this is the full door, and the way that they clip on is pretty good. Okay, so up here at the top, what you have is on one side on the clip, or on the Grosgrain loop, you've got a mini beaner. On the other side, you've got a piece of shock cord, and then at the peak, you've got a shock cord. So this piece of shock cord, I run through this D-ring that's here, and then I bring it up, and I run this piece of shock cord through this loop, and then the loop on the end clips to this mini beaner, and now it holds it up really nice. Now, if you needed to, you could run a line between the two as a suspension to hold this up. And if you're running two doors, that really does help with keeping it pulled up really well. Okay, for the bottom corners, you've got two clips, and you can use this any way you wanted to. If you had a D-ring here, you could attach it to the D-ring, but on this one, we've got two sets of clips. We've got one set right here, and that is built in, and if I could see it, it would be a lot easier. So that one clips in, and that keeps it where it is. This one has some shock cord that runs over the top and goes to a second set of clips that are over here, and that's what creates that overlap that seals in the warmth. Now, for those warmer months, when you don't need quite as much protection, you can get this partial door panel. And it doesn't come over, it doesn't overlap quite as much on the sides. If you've got the tarp set up pretty narrow, it will overlap a little bit. But this one just has shock cord that you just run down, carabiner into wherever your center clip is, or if you don't have center pullouts, you can run it all the way to the other side. Just run a little bit longer shock cord and it'll keep it in place, no problem. The top is set up exactly the same way as the other one, with it running through the D-ring to the loop, and carabiner it on, and that's going to keep it in place. And this one's just a little triangle that covers it. Now the wider you go, the more the gap is going to be here, but if you pitch it a little bit more narrow, it covers it completely and gives you that 3-season type coverage. The other side's kind of that winter type door. Okay, right now I've got it pitched at a more steep angle, so it's not pulled out as wide, it's more in storm mode, so it's up close, down, lower to the ground. And as you can see, even the small door has an overlap. This one has an overlap all the way up, and that's on both sides. And so you can see that this really does adjust to the different widths. Now the way that Danny was doing the doors before was with Velcro. And so if you've got a tarp that has Velcroed indoors or doors that have a zipper or snaps in the middle, you pretty much are set with one pitch to keep that taut the whole time. If you go more wide, the door won't close, and if you go more narrow, the door flaps quite a bit. So going with a design like this, no matter how wide or how tight you have the tarp pitched, you'll have either an overlap or a little bit of a gap, but it will adjust to the width of the tarp. Now here you can really see it's overlapped all the way up, so all the way to the top it's overlapped, and so you've got perfect coverage. You can see that there is no wind getting in from this side because it's all being blocked. Sure, it can go under. It can go under anyway, even if you had a full winter tarp that has doors enclosed on it. But this is a cool option that if you don't have doors on your tarp but you want doors, this is an add-on feature you can get, install on yours, and now you've got doors without having to go out and buy a separate tarp that has doors. All right, down on this end, you can now see that because we brought that pitch in a little bit, the doors overlap. You've got about 3 inches of overlap down here, about the same over here. And so it is enclosed real nice, and it's gonna block out all the wind coming up here. And so this is a partial door option if you don't need that door going all the way to the bottom. And this one still allows really good access in and out. Pretty cool little feature. As you guys can tell, I am pretty excited about this. These doors are gonna be great for anybody out there that has a tarp already and does not have doors on it but wanted doors, couldn't afford them or whatever at the time. Now you have the ability to buy a tarp, buy doors separately, add them on, and have that coverage that you get from a winter tarp. This tarp is an awesome tarp. It's a Sil Poly tarp, and it's gonna provide you whatever coverage you want. Additionally, if you're interested in doing add-on doors, this one is gonna have all of the tie-out points and all of the snap features ready to go. So all you have to do is buy the doors afterwards and put them on. Makes it a little bit easier. Kind of a modular type system where you can buy the basic and then buy the add-ons as you need them as you go. But the way that we came up with this one though, it's perfect for just about anybody out there. If you need doors, you can go ahead and buy them after the fact and get them installed onto your tarp. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them down below. I appreciate you guys checking this out. I'll see you down the trail.